weather. This is WKYT News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for WKYT News at 6 on WKYT and streaming live on WKYT Plus.
A massive winter storm is crossing the U.S. this weekend, and Kentucky is right in the middle of it.
Just within the last hour, Governor Andy Beshear announced that President Trump has approved an emergency disaster declaration for this storm.
Tonight, we're tracking the storm's path across the Commonwealth just for you.
And sharing what you need to know to stay safe.
So let's begin our team coverage tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. It is an all-hands-on-deck approach with this storm. It's been snowing here for several hours, but this is just the beginning, right?
Yeah, we're seeing, as India can attest to, the roads that are snow-covered across the entire Commonwealth. The snow part of this is playing out this evening for the entire state. Later tonight, the worst-case scenario may try to play out. That would be an ice storm that sets up across areas to the south of Lexington. Somebody down here may get a half to an inch of freezing rain on top of several inches of snow. That would take down power lines. That would cause some outages and over a fairly widespread area, too.
It'd be very difficult. We hope that doesn't happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's show you what we're dealing with right now, guys. That storm that is out there, that winter storm, is right on top of the region. We're in the beginning stages of this. That's a winter storm warning that is out for all the real estate that you see shaded in the pink, and that includes all of Kentucky, all of the surrounding states as well, and this goes down into Tennessee, where for a lot of the region, it's an ice storm warning down here into south central and southeastern parts of Tennessee. Listen, I would not be surprised at all now if we get several counties in here that are thrown out of the winter storm warning and into an ice storm warning, just to raise the awareness to the potential for a half to maybe up to an inch of freezing rain. Goodness gracious, nobody wants any part of the freezing rain. Here's the area we're going to really focus on from roughly, he says, the Mountain Parkway toward Richmond into Casey County, into Rockcastle County, part of Garrett County, and points to the south. Somebody in this area and over a fairly good swath of real estate can pick up a quarter to as much as 1 inch of pure freezing rain. Now, you've already got 2 and 3 inches of snow on the ground in several areas down here, and you're going to pick up a little more snow as the evening wears on before you change that over to sleet and freezing rain. If you want to stay sleet as long as you want, have at it, right? Unfortunately, we don't get a say in that. That is old man winter and Mother Nature. We're going to increase these snows through the evening and overnight across the Lexington metro. We are going to see an inch or so of sleet and up to a quarter of an inch of freezing rain now into the Lexington metro. Of course, that brings snow totals down a little bit, but that's not a good thing. That's a really bad thing, because that means you're going to put down a layer of freezing rain and ice on top of the snow that is out there. Farther to the north, where it is all snow or likely to be all snow, you are way up there with the snowfall accumulations, 10 to 18 inches. There's even the chance somewhere between Maysville, Covington, and Louisville for somebody up there to push close to 20 inches. An inch or two into many areas of the Bluegrass region, Gatton Park, downtown Lexington, view out of Moorhead with the snow that is coming down there. Somerset, had some photos down here. Folks have been sending me of a couple or 3 inches of snow on the ground across Pulaski County. You got about 2 or 3 more hours here into Somerset of snow before you make the transition over to sleet. That's the stuff that pings. That's, some folks asking what's the difference between freezing rain and sleet. Freezing rain is just the rain where your temperature is below freezing and it coats everything in a layer of ice. Sleet is the stuff that you hear falling and pinging and it just bounces off the ground. It's actually kind of crunchy. If you walk on it, that's okay. That doesn't stick to power lines or anything. It would be the freezing rain. Roads down here, an absolute mess. This is the interstate. This is I-75 in Corbin, and look at the snowpack that is currently in place. Now, imagine roads that look like this, and this is no small artery here. This is the interstate. This is 75. And you throw down quarter to a half inch of ice on top of that, and you cake it. You essentially have snow as the cake, and then the icing would be literal icing in this case from Mother Nature. We went through a similar scenario, if you guys remember, last January. It was a little earlier in the month, but we had a similar storm that set up around here. In Lexington, I think it dumped about 7 inches of snow, 8 inches of snow. We went over to freezing rain, and it was beautiful to see until you started to hear of power outages and trees cracking and what have you. So the snow is out there, but that mix line is getting close now to Jellicoe, Tennessee, and next stop would be into far southern Kentucky. Got a little bit of a void of precipitation out here to our west. That's closing up quickly. We're starting now to see convective showers of snow and sleet and freezing rain into western Tennessee. There's the chance tonight for parts of Kentucky to hear some thunder snow or thunder sleet or thunder freezing rain. That is how potent of a system we're going to be dealing with. Here's that snow band that is to the south of Lexington, that little bit of a void of deeper snows showing up on your radars just to the south of downtown. But we've been watching this band that has been zipping its way on through, and we continue to focus these little bands of heavier snow north of Bardstown aimed right at Richmond, Berea, Mount Vernon, McKee, Anvil, over into Beattyville, Boonville, and then points to the south. The snow continues down here, making its way across the Tennessee border counties. Back to the west. Notice the purples trying to get a little farther to the north, but this whole area back into western Tennessee, you can see the little bits of precipitation showing up there. Looks a little blotchy. Guys, that's going to increase as we go through the next few hours. This is one of those rare setups where you've got a major Arctic high pressure, bitter cold, and then you've got dual storm systems that will kind of combine forces into one, throwing up all this deep moisture across Kentucky. In about an hour or two, you're going to start to see the radar with a continuous swath of snow, sleet, and freezing rain from around Pittsburgh through Kentucky, goes all the way back into Mexico. That is how far-reaching of a winter storm we are dealing with. We want the snow and the sleet to win the battle. I don't know that it's going to do the case, though, for some of us out there, guys, and that's the last thing we want.
Yeah, we'll keep pulling for it and continue to cover whatever happens. Chris, thank you. And we have crews across central, southern, and eastern Kentucky working to keep us all updated on this winter storm.
WKYT Samantha Valentino is live for us here in Lexington, and Phil Pendleton is joining us from London.
Samantha, let's start with you. How have things changed since you first got out there this afternoon?
Well, I will tell you, with every single time you've seen us here on the air, it has just gotten colder and colder and colder. For the moment, the snow has lightened up a little bit, but it is definitely still coming down. We've been going all across the city for you today. Right now, we are in the Hamburg area of Lexington, right along Man of War. Traffic has slowed down a little bit since we first got out here, but I will tell you, there are a lot more people out on the roads than I would hope that there would be at this time during this major winter storm we are experiencing. You can see the slush built up on the roads. Some parts of the road, it's really even hard to see the roadway out here. So you want to be sure, if you have to be out and about right now, that you are taking your time on the roads. We know the city streets and roads department, they have all hands on deck working this weekend. Crews are working alternating 12-hour shifts. They're doing what they can to keep these roads clear for folks who do have to go out. But the message from city and state leaders tonight and throughout the weekend is to please stay home if you can, stay off the roads, stay warm, and most importantly, stay safe. Guys, I will send it back to you live in Lexington. Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
All right, Samantha, thank you.
Interesting to see more folks out there, so
Sure.
hope they don't get stuck. It is snowy in southern Kentucky. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is joining us live from London now.
And Phil, it sounds like people in your area are listening and taking the advice to try and stay home tonight.
And that's exactly right, Amber and Bill. I just spoke with Scotty Pennington with Kentucky State Police just a few moments ago. He says they have had no major accidents today, a few very minor ones, even a few injury accidents, but they say most people are staying home. Gilbert Achardo with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office told me the exact same thing, that pretty much everyone is heeding the advice to stay home and to stay that way. Main roads, as far as Highway 80, are pretty passable and in good shape. The interstate also fairly passable. Parking lots and side streets remained white. A few people were out and about, some choosing walking over driving. The snow is one thing, but people say they know and fear what could be coming next.
I see the snow and the ice, and I just get worried a lot about the ice mostly. The snow's not really a problem in this part of the area, but the ice the power lines, the traffic.
And people say also that they will have a shelter set up at the London Community Center, and they will be offering a place for people to stay with generator power. Live in Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you.
All right, good to see that gentleman's spirit in all of this, right? Yeah. All right, crews all across the state have spent the week preparing for this system, and right now they're out there in full force.
Kentucky Transportation Secretary is helping lead the charge from the state's Emergency Operations Center tonight in Frankfort.
And Secretary Jim Gray is joining us now on the phone. Good evening, Mr. Secretary. Thanks for giving us a moment.
Hello, Bill, and hello, Amber. Thanks for letting me join you all.
We appreciate you.
I've been listening to, I should say thanks, I don't know. I think as I was talking to the folks over here just a minute ago, someone said, well, even under the best scenario, the worst is yet to come. And I listened to Chris Bailey. I think that that's exactly what we've got. Yes. That's exactly what we've got. But I appreciate you all saying that there's been a lot of preparation. We've been tracking this system all week, and our teams, Bill, I've been saying the 3 Ps. It's preparation, planning, and partnering. And that's exactly what we're doing. And there are, 2,500, as many as 2,500 of our Department of Highways employees are staged and involved, not just staged, but very actively involved now in fighting this storm. And 1,500 pieces of equipment. And on top of that, we've got contractors that are poised. So I'm going to go into a little bit more of that, but I'll go back to you.
Secretary Gray, when you're talking about those crews and monitoring statewide, are you seeing any areas right now that are more concerning in terms of the roadways out there across the state?
Well, let's talk about your viewing area, your viewing audience, the folks that are listening to you all right now. Really, Lexington, Central Kentucky, right where you are, the band of what Chris was talking about, there's a band going from the west to the east where it's just on the edge of freezing rain and snow. And we're expecting that overnight that could get really, really tricky, very difficult. Those conditions. I want to say thanks to those folks who are listening to the messaging about staying at home. And there's a reason for that, more than one reason, not just their safety, not just the traveling public safety, but it sure helps our folks who are maneuvering with these complex, large, complex pieces of equipment, these plows, these salt trucks. It helps them. When the traffic is less, it allows us to maneuver and get the work done. That's a big deal. So I want to thank folks for that.
Well, we hope the public will continue to help. We know, Mr. Secretary, as the snow keeps falling, the crews just have to keep going. This is a long-term process, right?
But thank you, Bill, for saying that, because I don't miss an opportunity to praise the dedicated people, those 2,500 that I was talking about earlier, that are out there under these conditions. And let's not forget, as soon as we may get through Monday morning, but then it's brutal temperatures that Chris was talking about and that we're hearing about. And that's why folks have to be careful. And our folks that are out here on the road doing this work, I just commend them. I commend them and praise them.
Well, Secretary Gray, we know it's going to be a long night ahead for a lot of folks. We appreciate your time and giving us an update just on the roadways out there and all those crews. They're going to be hard at work over the next several days.
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And joining us tonight, by the way, from the Emergency Operations Center in Frankfort, which is staffed 24/7, obviously, to monitor the situation statewide. Chris?
Indeed, the worst yet to come across the area. The winter storm, the main part of this, is still way back here in parts of Texas. All of that juice that is into the Lone Star State has to make its way through Kentucky before we get out of this. So what is out there now? It's just the beginning stages of this. We're tracking this prolonged winter storm and the brutal cold that comes in behind it with the hour by hour here in just a moment. Hang with us. Our major winter storm is here and it continues to pound the region. We'll keep you up to date and keep you safe on all our platforms, WKYT and WKYT+.
First Alert Weather Storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
For respectful, reliable service reimagined. Don Hauer is there. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. Don Hauer, Don Hauer, Don Hauer.
I'm very passionate about the fire service. I do it on my off days too. The fire service has given me a great career.
If you want to grow, there's plenty of opportunities. Do you want a job that you have a brother and sisterhood? Do you want a job that's fulfilling and rewarding? Absolutely, be a firefighter.
My husband and I was in a ride share. The driver wasn't paying attention and he hit the vehicles in the front of him. I had to have a surgery where they had to go to the front of my neck to get to the back with 3 plates in my neck. I was out of work, didn't know how I was gonna pay anything. We called Morgan & Morgan and they did not fail us. I really appreciate you because if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know where I would be right now. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
From ADU homes and room additions to garage additions, take your home to the next level with distinctive design remodeling. Turn your basement from fine to fantastic. Upgrade your patio. Enjoy the outdoors longer in a new screened room. With this many finished projects, what are you waiting for? With distinctive design remodeling. First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Now, WKYT First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey everybody, we continue to track this major winter storm that is just in the beginning stages. If I can get my computer to cooperate here. Hang on, wait for it. There you go. Winter storm warning that is out for the entire state, and it's going to be with us through tomorrow into tomorrow night. So we're seeing snow that is out there now. Got a couple or 3 inches on the ground in parts of our region, especially the Bowling Green area. Boy, they took it on the chin with that initial round a little earlier with several inches already down there. Take a look at our winter storm warning, and then we'll kick this thing into high gear as we go through the overnight and into tomorrow as the main part of this storm makes its way through here. That winter storm warning is for all of Kentucky, the entire surrounding areas as well. Do we get in on something that is a little greater with an ice storm warning? It's out across parts of the Knoxville, Tennessee area. It's out into Charlotte, into Atlanta. I would not be surprised if part of this doesn't get extended into the south and parts of the southeastern corner of Kentucky. Those ice storm warnings actually now go all the way down from Tennessee, Louisiana into Texas, the Lone Star State. Those winter storm warnings, look at how much real estate. Goodness gracious, that is a massive storm system that is out there. This is still largely a snowmaker for the northern half of the region. The bluegrass region, listen, we've had to introduce a little more freezing rain. You don't want that. We didn't want to do that. Unfortunately, that's not the best case scenario by far. Best case scenario would be all snow for everybody. That is not going to play out, even though everybody has only had snow so far. Here's the area I'm more concerned with, where you can get a quarter to as much as an inch or so of ice that tries to show up into areas south and southeast of the Lexington area. Downtown Lexington, Gatton Park, Cam, where it is snowing to beat the band. Morehead State University, Cam, where it is snowing. We've had moderate to heavy snow better part of the day here into Somerset. Visibility's up just a little bit. We got another band of some snows that'll be lifting out of Tennessee, and then the freezing rain and sleet kicks in. Look at this view of Corbin, I-75. All of that is lifting to the north. That interstate that we were just looking at, that camera shot, it's all snow. Later tonight at 10 and 11, when you're joining us, we're going to be watching that same camera with likely some ice on it at that time. Cold weather advisory and excessive cold potential across the land. We're at 13 degrees right now. We are getting a snowstorm with temperatures in the low teens and a wind chill that is 3 below zero in Lexington. All of this stuff is just going to grow colder tomorrow night into Monday and Tuesday. So the first round of some lighter snows making their way across the area now. Look back here to our south and southwest. All of a sudden, you start to see more of those blues showing up. That's going to be a very heavy band of snow that develops across southern and western parts of Kentucky. That will lift its way on in from the southwest to the northeast. Bluegrass region right now, light snows, a little moderate band from time to time where you see the darker blues. You got one eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking on Interstate 64 coming out of Shelby County and into Franklin County. Maybe just some flurries. Danville, that'll pick up the pace a little more as we watch this stuff out of the west. This is the opportunity with some convective precipitation going up for some lightning strikes to show up with that particular setup, and that's the one that brings the heavy snow and then the heavy amounts of sleet and freezing rain into parts of the region through tomorrow. Look at those temperatures, brutally cold, not just over the next few, but guys, there's another Arctic front due in here Thursday with some more snows during that time.
Why do those minus signs look so long?
It's going to be so dangerous,
yeah,
that cold.
It is. Again, worst case scenario, you get freezing rain that takes out power and then you go to below zero temperatures. Nobody wants that.
Nope.
Unfortunately, that may play out.
Hope against it. All right, thank you.
Well, roads across the state are becoming snow-covered and slick, and that is certainly the case tonight here in central Kentucky.
WKYT's Maggie Rickerby is continuing our coverage now from Madison County. She joins us live from Richmond, where she just got an update from Richmond Police.
Well, I just got off the phone with Chief of Police here in Richmond, Rodney Richardson. He tells us that there have been fewer accidents than normal. He said he just checked in with his shift, who is on shift right now, his crew that's on shift rather, and they say it's less than normal. So that is a great sign. We're out here in this neighborhood here in Richmond. If you see here behind me, what we can see in what looks like a winter wonderland. It is covered, it is blanketed. This looks nothing like the Richmond bypass. What we saw just an hour ago, we saw some people out here shoveling. People are getting on top of that, and they're making sure that they can get out of here when they need to. But a lot of folks also told us they're hunkering down, they're staying safe. But there are some people out there that are out there on purpose, with a purpose, like Appalachian Back Roads. They went back there and they are going down to Owsley County and Jackson County to help some folks out during this storm.
We do off-roading for a living, so this is the fun time for people like me, and we're just glad to be out and be able to be a part of the community. We're the kind of people in the organization that we seek out the off-road, which is the slickness and also the wonderful thing with the snow conditions. It can be fun, also it's very dangerous if you're out and about. Water, extra layers of clothing, blankets, common sense kind of mentality. And of course, you know, for anybody in the elderly or anybody needs something, we're just going to be out and about providing assistance.
And I hope you all are inside, warm, unlike him, just kind of hanging out, staying out from this outdoor weather. We're out here, so you don't have to be. We'll be out here all night, and we really are seeing it calm down, and it really hasn't stopped since it started. We got out here around 3 p.m., and it's still coming, so I'm sure we've got a lot more coming. But live in Richmond, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
All right, we want Maggie to get in the car and get warm for us. Our crews are working so hard out there in the cold tonight to bring us all this coverage.
And before all this got started, it's been a big day for UK basketball. Both the men's and women's games were moved up today due to the weather.
And our Caden Gaylord Day is joining us in studio with our all-blue coverage.
Kentucky men's basketball is on a roll never seen before under Mark Pope as they welcomed in a familiar face to Rupp Arena as the Cats look for their 5th straight win before a week off. The highlights coming up in sports.
Years old. If you are younger than 80 years old, do you receive Social Security, disability, or Medicare? If you answered yes, you may qualify for $30,000 in funeral insurance for only pennies a day. The average funeral costs around $11,000, and Social Security only pays $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. Call now to see if you qualify for $30,000 in funeral expense coverage from Senior Legacy Life. Your rate will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and there is no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing disease or illness. Don't be a financial burden to your family. Lock in your rate by completing an application over the phone right now. Will you qualify for funeral insurance up to $30,000 for only pennies a day? Find out by calling Senior Legacy Life.
Call 1-800-500-3922. That's 1-800-500-3922. 1-800-500-3922.
I'm a coach. I'm competitive. It's really important to me that I have great coverage just for my job. I saw the commercial for Consumer Cellular. I thought at first, it's just for old people, but my cell phone bill kept going up. And then, of all things, I made the call. It was almost 50% less. I got 5% off with AARP, so then it went even lower.
Consumer Cellular gives you the same fast, reliable nationwide network for up to half the cost of big wireless.
Same tower, same coverage. The same coverage that you're looking for, they offer.
And there's no long-term contracts.
You don't like us? 1 month. Cut us loose, Coach.
We'll have you wrapped up in about 20 minutes. Really.
We hadn't gone back. We're not going back. We're with Consumer Cellular.
Call now and see how one of our U.S.-based Switch Pros can cut your bill by up to half. And right now, get your second month free with code SECONDFREE. Call 1-800-462-7076.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $20 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $285 million.
For the first time in the Mark Pope era, Kentucky has won 5 straight games. Lindsey Goff is at Rupp Arena to catch the win.
The Big Blue Nation weathered the weather to see the Wildcats pick up their 5th straight win in conference play. Kentucky had a 29-23 lead at the half thanks to an 8-0 spurt from Jasper Johnson, who finished the game with 11 points.
He was a spark for us. Him and Trent, they did really good. But Jasper, he could do that with his eyes closed. So, I mean, that was no shock to me.
UK knew they needed to fight the second half to pick up the win, and when there's a will, there's a way. Otega away, that is. Away had 23 points, 20 of them coming in the second half to help the Cats pick up a 9-point win.
We're not frazzled when he hasn't got it going yet because we know it's coming.
Colin Chandler also coming up with some clutch plays. He'd finished with 12.
He's an elite level shooter, and he loves that little step back. And Colin is interesting. He loves the moment. He wants it. He wants the moment.
And in his return to Rupp Arena 2024, Mr. Kentucky basketball Travis Perry was held scoreless. Up next for the Wildcats, a 2-game road swing beginning with a trip to Nashville, facing Vanderbilt on Tuesday night. That's a 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off. From Rupp Arena, I'm Lindsey Goff for WKYT.
Meanwhile, the UK women's game was moved up a day earlier due to the weather. The Wildcats dropped their 3rd straight game, falling to Georgia 72-67, despite Tony Morgan notching a double-double with 10 points and 12 assists. And we will have those highlights and reactions from head coach Kenny Brooks tonight as you look at sports. Back to you guys.
All right, Caden, we appreciate you, and we are watching that weather very closely right now.
Yeah, it's all snow across the region now, heavy snow across the south. There's a little donut hole that's filling in quickly around the E-Town area. Look at all that heavy snow developing into western Kentucky, southern parts of Indiana, right on top of 64. That is zipping through here, and that's going to increase as the evening wears on. Something else that will increase into southern Kentucky, the freezing rain and sleet. That's the part we don't want. This is a massive storm that is targeting the region tonight through tomorrow night. This isn't just folks are saying, what, is this it? And I'm like, come on, y'all. We're just in the first few hours of this. This goes through tomorrow night.
As Secretary Gray said, way to go. This is just the beginning.
That's right.
And we're coming back with more coverage.
We are. We're going to be on the air until 8 o'clock tonight, so please stay with us. We have a lot more coverage of this winter storm coming your way.
Stay connected, stay safe. WKYT First Alert Weather.
I'm John Morgan, and this is my family. More than 35 years ago, my wife Ultima and I started our firm with the simple goal to fight for families like yours.
What began as a small firm is now America's largest. But to us, it's always been more than just a business.
It's a family business.
We understand what it means to face hard times and fight to overcome them.
Every case we take on is personal because we know what's at stake for you.
When you're injured, we're here for you.
For the people, for the families.
It's time to roll up your sleeves and save lives, Kentucky fans. Big Blue Slam is January 26th through the 30th at all Kentucky Blood Center locations. Beat the Gators and get a Big Blue Slam t-shirt. Visit kybloodcenter.org to make your appointment.
When it snows, you want to know, is it closed? WKYT has you covered. Scan the QR code to keep up to date on closings and delays. WKYT Closings is sponsored by Right Way Auto Glass.
Paul Davis Restoration and WKYT remind you to be weather aware.
Visit Cravens and Lewis in Georgetown to sell your valuables at our 3-day-only buying event from January 27th to January 29th. Bring in your gold, silver, fine jewelry, diamonds, coins and currency, and more to receive a non-obligation offer and immediate payment. No appointment necessary. For more information and a full list of what we buy, visit nationalrarities.com.
Ring in the new year with a new ride at Genesis of Lexington. Lease a GV70 for $549 a month for 36 months with $59.99 down and 10,000 miles per year. Drive your new year forward at Genesis of Lexington.
Do you have what it takes to be a Lexington firefighter?
With First Alert Weather, this is WKYT News.
Good evening once again. We welcome you back to WKYT News a little after 6:30. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Amber Philpott. Tonight we have crews across central and southern Kentucky covering this winter storm. It has been snowing for hours, but we still have many more hours to go of this storm.
We do want to get you right over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, who is, we call this nowcasting at this point, right?
Right, and especially that's going to be the case, guys, later tonight as we watch the sleet, freezing rain, and snow lines drifting slowly out of Tennessee northward into the Bluegrass State. But what we've had today is the light part of this stuff. The heaviest precipitation, whether it be in snow, sleet, or freezing rain form, or for some of you out there, all three is coming in the next few hours, the closing hours of this day, and certainly into most of the day on Sunday. Winter storm warning continues in effect for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky, surrounding areas as well. Ice storm warning is out into Tennessee, and I am concerned that the ice potential is going to show up even greater across our part of the world. Roads are already just an absolute mess out there. The brutal cold this morning. We were almost 10 below zero for a wind chill. We're below zero right now for that wind chill. New call for ice and snowfall. I never like calling for ice and snowfall. A snowfall is what it is. But when you're talking about snow, sleet, freezing rain, things can get really ugly in a hurry. We've already put a few to several inches of snow across parts of southern Kentucky. You're still going to keep it snowing for a few more hours down here and several more hours to the north. As a matter of fact, the heavy snows are going to kick in into the middle and latter part of the evening and then later tonight. The area where it's all snow, you're picking up a bunch. To the south of that, where you're going to have heavy snow, you're going to try to mix it with a little sleet, freezing rain. How much will determine how much snow you have out of this, but I think in the Lexington area toward Moorhead, upwards of an inch of sleet and a quarter inch of freezing rain, a possibility now, which would be on top of several inches of snow. So you put a icy layer down on top of a deep snowpack. And then farther to the south, this is the area in the pink here that has the greatest concern for a true ice storm. We've already got snow on the ground here. We're going to see several more hours of snow and then the switch to sleet, freezing rain. Sleet doesn't do anything. It's not going to stick to power lines, trees, or anything like that. We can handle that. View from our WKYT tower cam. This is Winchester Road down here. Interstate traffic over top of us, and you can see that we're covered, obviously. Downtown Lexington covered in snow. Gatton Park camera on this particular view. Moorhead, heavy snows just started to get in there a couple of hours ago. Mount Vernon, Interstate 75. Boy, look at the bridge over the interstate there. We are in a mess. Hazard, heavy, moderate to heavy snow from time to time. And then we've got the brutal cold conditions. Cold weather advisory and excessive cold possible tomorrow night into Monday and into Tuesday. It is cold enough already. Folks, we're getting snow at 13 degrees. That's a true Arctic snowstorm that is kicking in across the Bluegrass State. -3 is what it feels like. So your First Alert radar network right now, you've got just a little bit of a void of precipitation that is filling in rapidly back here to our west and southwest. See the nature of the snows that are going up out here, kind of convective in nature. There's a chance starting late evening into the overnight for some thunder and lightning to show up with some of the snows, especially along the Ohio River and just to the south. We got to keep a close eye on that. So the snows that are out there and then that little bit of ice coming out of Tennessee is starting to get really close to the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and that's going to be a bigger story across the south and southeast as the evening wears on. Meteorologist Ben Beddoes has been out all day. He's riding shotgun in our WKYT, we'll call it the snowmobile, where he is giving us an update on road conditions. Earlier, Ben, you were in Nicholasville, you were in Lexington, now you're in the Montgomery County area.
Yeah, Chris, we've been all over the place so far today. Went from Nicholasville to Lexington to Frankfort to Georgetown, and now, yeah, we are in Montgomery County, heading westbound on I-64, approaching the Winchester area. So let's kind of take a look at the roads here. Overall, it's kind of down to one lane that's decent when it comes to travel. We're in that right lane. Of course, the right lane looks good, but the left lane, that's where we're really seeing a lot of that slim layer of snow that is covered enough to make it really, really slick. And you know, we're also one thing we're also seeing here too on the interstate is there's a lot of random spots that just have packs of snow, and that can take you by surprise, especially the fact that it's now dark. You're not going to be able to see it that well, but we have certainly seen the snowplows out and about. The good news is we haven't seen too many people out and about, and seems like we're getting a little bit of a lull in our activity right now in Montgomery County, but of course we have plenty more time to go. Best thing you can do is just stay inside, stay warm, and stay off the roads, and let those road crews do what they need to do. Reporting passenger side in Montgomery County, I'm Ben Beddoes. Chris.
All right, Ben, stay safe, my man. And obviously the heavier snows are gearing up again back here to our west. But another quick view on what Ben was seeing there, that little bit of a lightening up of the snow from Mount Sterling over toward Cave Run Lake. That's going to fill in quickly, and we're going to see that band to the west of us start to fill in. Richmond eastbound over toward the Waco area into Irvin, dealing with moderate snow. Look at the snow, Mount Washington around Louisville. That bit of a donut hole that is showing up across central Kentucky will fill in rapidly from the west here shortly. Southern Kentucky, we're watching the precipitation types down here. For the first time, we're seeing at least the radar trying to show down here around the Saxton area, over toward Cooperative, I believe, there in McCreary County, dealing with a little bit of sleet and freezing rain, or at least trying to get there. What we've been noticing, though, back to our southwest, where the radar was telling folks into Arkansas and parts of West Tennessee that it should be sleet or freezing rain, it was still actually snowing. So that may be an indication that that cold air tries to hang on just long enough. But yeah, all of this is just going to increase very quickly, guys, as we watch this double-barrel winter storm. The first part of the show today was the lighter part, as expected with that Arctic high. But look what's back here to our west and southwest. This stuff goes all the way to New Mexico, into Mexico and Texas. And that's what is yet to come across Kentucky. And we're in this thing through tomorrow night into Monday morning.
Long haul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, we thank you very much. Sure. Governor Andy Beshear says Kentucky will get federal aid for this storm and the response to it. Just before 5 o'clock tonight, he announced that President Trump has approved an emergency disaster declaration. The governor says that means federal aid is available immediately.
We have crews tonight across our viewing area bringing us live looks at the current weather conditions.
Let's focus on central Kentucky right now. WKYT Samantha Valentino is in Lexington and Maggie Rickerby is in Richmond. And Sam, we'll go to you first. What have you seen out there this afternoon?
Well, we told you at the top of the hour, there are far too many people, in my opinion, out on the roads right now. You guys, you want to be home and off the roads if you can be. I want to give you a look. We are in the Hamburg area of Lexington, Man of War. Traffic is lightening up a little bit, but still, we do not want to see this many people out on the roads right now. We know that it is all hands on deck here in the city of Lexington for the streets and roads crews. They are doing what they can to keep up with this continuous snowfall. We are seeing clearing the roads as they can, but when you have continuous snow and cold temperatures like this, it makes their jobs really difficult. And we heard from Secretary Gray at the top of the hour. He said it's the same story across the state. Their crews are hard at work clearing the roads as we can. We also have team coverage, as we said, across the Commonwealth tonight. I'm going to bring in WKYT's Maggie Rickerby now. Maggie joins us from Richmond. Maggie, what is the story there tonight? What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, I actually just got off the phone with Chief of Police here in Richmond, Rodney Richardson, and he tells us that the crews he has on shift have said that they are actually seeing lower accidents than normal. They're not seeing what they usually would during this type of weather. So that is great news. That means, in his words, that people are heeding that advice, staying indoors. And right now we are in this neighborhood here in Richmond, and as you can see here behind me, it's a blanket of snow. I mean, there's some tire tracks we've got going on here. There's some people moving in and out, but really the only people we've seen on the roads have been people with the four-wheel drive. You've seen a lot of pickup trucks, and we've really seen those snow plows out there as well as assault trucks. They are making sure to tend to those roads. So it definitely is picking up. It has not really stopped since we've been standing out here, but I mean, it's a good important reminder to note that, you know, your neighborhood is going to look a lot different than those popular roads like the bypass that we were at just earlier. So definitely stay indoors, hunker down, and stay warm. Live in Richmond, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
All right, Maggie, thank you. And speaking of those roads, let's take another look at the roads and those road conditions out there.
WKYT's India Jones is joining us now with a look from across the state. What the situation?
That's right. So I want to show you exactly what the situation is. If you are getting ready to head out the door, don't. Right now, we are saying that we are seeing snow-covered roadways pretty much all across the bluegrass. So as we take a look at the Mountain Parkway, this is one of our darker cameras, but you can still see the snow has covered the roadway completely here. Now, as we take a look at a different camera, this is a look at I-75 in the Corbin area. Now, not only are we dealing with construction in this area, but you can see that the roadways are still completely covered right now. For those of you who are just trying to navigate, heading out the door, take your time. Those bridges and overpasses are still dealing with some of those slick spots, and that can cause for some issues right there. But luckily, we aren't dealing with any crashes to report inside of Fayette County. Taking a look at the WKYT Power Cam, Winchester again starting to slow down significantly out there. Folks are staying inside. If you're looking for more information, definitely head over to our website and always download that free First Alert weather app, guys.
Thank you. We are continuing to track this massive winter storm, and straight ahead we're going to focus on how the worst of this isn't even close to getting into Kentucky. We're going to time that out, and my concern over an out-and-out ice storm continues to increase for much of our region. We'll take a look at that and the brutal cold that follows it up here in just a moment. Stay with us. Join us for the First Alert Weather Show weeknights at 6:30 on the CW Lexington and WKYT Plus.
Call us at Minervine's Injury Lawyers if you've been involved in an accident or have been seriously injured.
I'm Maria Montgomery, and at West Shore Home, we make home remodeling easy. From tub to shower conversions to walk-in tub installations and even full bath remodels. We're ready to get rid of your old, outdated bathroom and transform it into your dream space. So if your bathroom looks like this, or even this, we're ready to transform your bathroom. The best part is we don't require any money down, so you can get started and not make your first payment until after the project is complete. All of our projects are professionally installed by our crews of highly trained employee installers, never subcontractors. And right now we have something special going on. It's our winter savings event. Lock in free installation on all tub to shower conversions. Plus, for a limited time, get 18 months of no interest financing. Just call or visit westshorebath.com.
I'm Daniel, the founder of Pretty Litter, the color-changing, health-monitoring cat litter. Did you know that cats tend to hide symptoms of sickness and pain? I learned this the hard way after losing my cat, which drove me to create this. By working with scientists and veterinarians, we were able to develop a new litter with color-changing technology to help you keep tabs on your cat's health. Built with advanced odor control, this litter keeps your home smelling fresher longer, so give it a try. Visit prettylitter.com today.
Search WKYT and stream breaking news and weather live on your TV or watch anytime on your schedule. Download today and stay connected.
Join me for Kentucky Newsmaker Sunday morning at 11:30 on WKYT.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying your evening. Snowstorm underway. The ice storm part of the program going to kick in a little later on tonight and certainly into the day tomorrow. Winter storm warning is out for much of Kentucky, but I would be surprised if at some point tonight or tomorrow, if part of this isn't upgraded to just an ice storm warning. I think the prime culprit for that would be the area stretching from Moorhead back toward the Campbellsville area, Somerset, London, somewhere in there. That may include parts of the Lexington Metro, especially down into Madison County, Richmond and Berea. You've got snow on the ground. Everybody has snow on the ground, all the way down to Nashville and Knoxville. What's happening, though, across the Kentucky-Tennessee border counties, we're seeing that ice increasing right now. A little sleet, a little freezing rain, and then all of a sudden, as you get through the late evening, that ice and snow line starts to retreat a little bit to the north as the ice takes over, and it's going to be falling on a few to several inches of snow here. Somebody can pick up upwards of a half to 1 inch of pure freezing rain on top of snow. Folks, anything above a quarter of an inch of freezing rain can cause some power outages. We were talking with a lot of the power crews yesterday, the Kentucky Electric cooperatives, and they were telling me that anything above a quarter of an inch really gets their attention, and that's when their kind of alarm bells start to go off at power outages. So we're going to be on guard for that all the way to I-64. That's why the snow totals for I-64 coming down a little bit. It's not that the system isn't there. It's just you're getting more sleet and some freezing rain of it out of it. Instead of it producing all snow or more snow, now it's going to produce more ice, which is the last thing anybody wants. Here's the view out of Lexington. This is the interstate. We got another batch of some snow moving in. This is the bridge over top of the interstate, Hamburg Pavilion. What you're looking at is Gatton Park, downtown Lexington. Snow, cameras. Boy, some of these, our traffic cams are intermittent to say the least right now. That's the view out of Georgetown, out of Mount Vernon. All right, downtown Hazard. This is a more stable view. It is giving us the snow that is falling here. Now, Hazard, southeastern Kentucky, that area along the Hal Rogers Parkway, you probably have another 2 hours, maybe 3 of snow before the sleet and some freezing rain starts to take over. Cold weather advisory, excessive cold watch. And later tonight, and especially tomorrow morning, those temperatures come up a little bit, especially across the east and southeast. And then all of a sudden that Arctic air surges right back in, even into the southeast. You can see the areas, though, that are starting to warm a little bit. We're 20 now into Williamsburg, where I would imagine some sleet and freezing rain are trying to show up now. Likewise here into Harlan. 13 Lexington into Georgetown. 3 below zero is your wind chill. Tomorrow night and into the day on Monday and Tuesday, wind chills of 20 to 25 below zero may show up. Here's a look at that Arctic air mass that is driving those cold wind chills all the way into the deep south. They're below zero in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Snow coming in from the west and the southwest. That's going to kick it up before it changes it over, guys, later tonight to sleet and freezing rain. Bill, you said this is what we call nowcasting. That's exactly right. I call it more play-by-play of a storm because literally from hour to hour it's going to change depending on where those lines are setting up. It's just a ton of precipitation.
We get it. All right. Chris, thank you very much. Police in southern Kentucky say they've not been really busy in the early part of this snowstorm.
Yeah, that snow continues to come down in Laurel County. Crews are on top of it when it comes to the roads, but those roads are still snow-covered in places and certainly slick tonight. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is live in London with a look at the latest conditions there. Good evening, Phil.
Yes, we are here just off of Interstate 75 and Highway 80. We've been here all day long, and we have seen the amount of traffic drastically go down from the time that we were first out here. Police say that they've had a few very minor accidents, nothing real major. A couple of those accidents did have some minor injuries, but there has not been any fatalities, and police are very thankful for that. They think that if a lot more traffic had been out here, the situation would have been a whole lot worse. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office pretty much says the same thing. Now, Kentucky Highway 80 has had a decent amount of traffic through this situation. They have had salt trucks out plowing, keeping the main roads clear. Kentucky State Police say that it's good just for everybody to stay home.
If you got to go to work or you got to be out, use cautious. Make sure you got a cell phone. Make sure you got enough gas in your vehicle if you do get stranded, that you can stay warm until first responders get to you.
Yes, and there are a number of different places that people are going to be able to go if the temperatures go down drastically and there's power outages. The London Community Center will have a warming center open. That place does have generated power. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
All right, they hope it doesn't come to that, but best to be prepared. All right, from flooding to a winter blast.
Perry County in eastern Kentucky faces another challenge from Mother Nature. Tonight, the concern there, more ice potentially than snow. First Alert WYMT meteorologist Eric Dean joining us now and explaining how the county continues to persevere through flooding and now a winter storm. Good evening, Eric.
Hey, that's right, guys. Good evening. As you can see, the snow is coming down here in Perry County. Have about 2 to 3 more hours left of this, as Chris mentioned before. It starts to turn into that sleet and freezing rain. You can see here on the parking lot, it is snow covered. Temperatures right now are in the upper teens and low 20s. Now, earlier today, McKinley Calandrino was out, and she has the latest.
From flooding to ice and snowstorms like we are currently experiencing, Eastern Kentuckians say they have seen it all, but it's the resilience of the mountain people that keeps them going. Folks in Perry County say they have been here and done this before. While they are still taking precautions and preparing for this weekend, Kentuckians like Arthur Holland believe it is through the grace of God that they will persevere then and will persevere now.
As far as the flood, I came with nothing left, and with the grace of God and the people that came to my assistance, I came through that, and whatever happens through this, I'm going to come through that, and no matter what, I'm going to live till I die.
Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander tells me since he's been in office, they have seen 14 federally declared state of emergencies. Now, while we are hoping there are no major consequences of this weekend storm, Kentuckians are prepared to rebuild like they have time and time again. In Perry County, McKinley Calandrino.
All right, as McKinley mentioned, if you don't have to go out, just please stay in. Just please stay in this weekend. We got another few more hours of the snow before it will transition to ice. In Hazard, I'm meteorologist Eric Dean. Back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. And this is certainly that storm where every part of the state is being impacted right now.
Nobody's spared.
Right.
Everybody stay with us. We have much more coverage from WKYT in a moment.
This Morgan video was not approved, authorized, or endorsed by Disney. This Morgan video was not approved, authorized, or endorsed by Disney.
Paul Davis Restoration and WKYT remind you to be weather aware.
It's a harsh week of winter weather. Everything from snow and ice to bitter cold. We're tracking it all to keep you safe on WKYT and WKYT Plus.
First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Unleash your business's full potential with GDM 360. Where streaming TV, display, and video ads, audio, even gaming all work together in perfect unison. Building one seamless strategy. That's the great digital media difference. We know local. GDMLexington.com.
Live, local, trusted. Follow WKYT News on Instagram. Search WKYT and stream breaking news and weather live on your TV. Or watch anytime on your schedule. Download today and stay connected to WKYT.
Your news, your way, streaming now.
WKYT News at 11.
WKYT delivers it.
Take a look at this video.
Today's headlines, tonight's breaking news.
Reporting live from Lexington.
and tomorrow's first alert.
I'm tracking overnight storms that will impact your morning commute.
Streaming to fit your life.
A safety alert for a food recall.
Stream tonight, stream anytime.
WKYT News at 11. Live, local, trusted.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Here we are. We're going to continue our coverage coming up here into the next hour, so stay with us. But this segment of it, wrapping it up with heavy snows across the south, but we're starting now to get freezing rain and sleet coming into the picture across the south. The ice storm potential tonight is way high. To our west and southwest, the snows are going to continue to gear up, and they're aimed right at the Bluegrass region and north. So areas along the Hal Rogers Parkway, that freezing line or the freezing rain line gets in there over the next little bit. We've got continued team coverage straight ahead right here on WKYT.
Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Gray Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming channels you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use every day, and we'll help you leverage the power of Google and talk to the right audience on YouTube. Our marketing experts connect you with customers right here in Lexington and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies, backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Digital Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMLexington.com.
Commonwealth of Kindness is our way at WKYT to be able to showcase and highlight the people in Kentucky that are doing amazing things, that are doing random acts of kindness, or just being out in their communities doing all sorts of things.
I get to meet people that have done incredible things for their community, incredible things for one another.
I think one of my favorite Commonwealth of Kindness pieces that we were able to do is about a family out of Harrison County. They lost their little girl to cancer, but through that loss, they've been able to turn her birthday each year into a way to give back to the communities. And it now funds food for backpack programs in the county. It also raises money for anybody in the community that has a child that's going through anything that is medical that they may need.
I've also done stories about a man painting murals all over Versailles, trying to make the place more beautiful.
If you know of someone or a group in your community who is doing amazing things, we want to hear about them. Email us at kindness@wkyt.com.
It is a major winter storm, and it continues to impact the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. Hi, everybody. That winter storm warning continues for the entire region through the weekend. Major snowstorm for some, a major ice storm for others, and everybody gets in on the brutally cold conditions that will follow this up. It is essentially a shutdown winter storm, not only for Kentucky, surrounding areas as well. Of course, we're following it all weekend long at WKYT and WKYT Plus.
First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. With First Alert weather, this is WKYT News.
Good evening. It's 7 o'clock on your Saturday. Thanks for joining us for WKYT News. We're also streaming on WKYT Plus.
A massive winter storm is crossing the U.S. this weekend, and here in Kentucky, we are right in the middle of it.
In the last few hours, Governor Andy Beshear announced that President Trump has approved an emergency disaster declaration for this storm.
And tonight, we're tracking the storm's path across the Commonwealth for you.
And sharing what you need to know to stay safe.
Let's start with our team coverage tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Chris, we're talking about the storm. We're seeing quite a bit of snow, but we are just really in the beginning of all of this.
We are. This is the light to moderate snow that was preceding the main storm that comes in tonight. So we got snow-covered roads. Indy's going to tell you all about that in a moment, and soon to become ice-covered roads as well. That is the big concern, especially into southern Kentucky over the next few hours. Let's get into it. Winter storm warning is out for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. I would imagine there's a shot some of this gets upgraded to a full-blown ice storm warning at some point later this evening. Now, where that is, we will see, but the potential is there for the areas down here into south central Kentucky where you've got a couple or 3 inches of snow on the ground already, to go right over to freezing rain and sleet. And the quicker you go to freezing rain, the more ice you're going to get down here. Your temperatures are in the upper teens, and I'm getting my first reports out of this area that it went straight from snow to freezing rain around Corbin, and that is going to cause all kinds of issues as we head into tonight. And that freezing rain line is going to extend farther to the north and northwest. So you have in the Lexington area even the potential for more in the way of sleet and freezing rain now. The more sleet, freezing rain you get, the snow totals come down some. Still going to be a lot of snow on the ground before we get that changeover to some sleet and freezing rain. And this is going to be the area where somebody can pick up a half to 1 inch of freezing rain. You get anything above 1/4 of an inch, you're going to have some issues that will be showing up. Here's the view of downtown Lexington, our Gatton Park cam, where it continues to snow at a good clip into Somerset. So I was looking at this camera just a little bit ago, and I thought, okay, the snows have kind of tapered a little bit. We picked up a couple of 3 inches, but then I started to see some things that were hitting this camera. So now I'm like, okay, and I'm getting reports down here. I'm like, we may have switched it over already to a little freezing rain here into Somerset. If that's the case, that is really, really bad news. That's going to, the earlier the change to freezing rain, stands to reason the more freezing rain you're going to get, right? Here's Hazard, where Eric was out there a little bit ago showing us that it was still snowing, but that sleet freezing rain line will get in there a little later on. Bitterly cold temperatures, we got them now. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until we get into Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. Currently, we're into the low teens, 13 degrees with snow. Even into southern Kentucky, let me go back here. It's 18 for Somerset and London, yet we're getting some freezing rain because just above the surface, there's a little above 32-degree layer of air. So those snowflakes fall from the clouds, they melt in that above freezing layer. They don't have enough real estate to freeze back into sleet or anything else, so you just get rain to fall with 18-degree temperatures. What happens? You go outside, you pour a little moisture, you pour water on the ground, what's it going to do? It's going to freeze up. It's going to turn into ice. Same principle with the rain that is falling. 2 below, by the way, is your current temperature in Lexington. Here's that Arctic cold air mass that is continuing to surge its way on into the area. The donut hole, where we have kind of in between the earlier band of snow and the next major band of snow and ice, is going to fill up. First Alert Radar Network, light snow Lexington, Versailles, Lawrenceburg. You see that burst of some blue? That's a little heavier burst of snow. That continues around Harrodsburg and Danville. A lot of this stuff, while zipping to the east, the overall forecast of this is going to continue to keep that lifting to the north. So the little areas where you don't have much now will start to fill up very quickly. Here into southern Kentucky, the radar is still picking up on this. It's trying to color code everything, mind you, as snow, but again, some reports of a little freezing rain and sleet in here. So we'll have to watch that very, very closely. Across the western part of Kentucky, you've got the snow and maybe just a touch of some freezing rain and sleet trying to get into around the campus of Murray State University. Everything that is out there is going to come in from southwest to northeast. That's the general trend line that we're talking about. So that's why the heaviest snow is going to be right in a corridor from southwest to northeast. Same principle for the heaviest band of freezing rain that sets up shop. And you see all those brighter blues all of a sudden blossoming out here. When I look at that, it's a tremendous amount of lift in the atmosphere. Guys, I wonder, are we going to get a little thunder snow into western Kentucky, maybe northern Kentucky out of that, and a little thunder sleet or thunder ice for the rest of the region? Listen, what made its way through here already is just the weak part of the storm. The major stuff is back here all the way to New Mexico and Texas, and that is in town tonight through tomorrow night.
Okay, we're all rolling through this experience together. Chris, thank you very much. We have crews all across central Kentucky right now, southern Kentucky and the eastern part of the state, working to keep everybody updated on this winter storm.
WKYT Samantha Valentino is live for us here in Lexington. Our Phil Pendleton is joining us from London.
Samantha, let's start with you. I know this afternoon you started out and things were a little busy, and now it seems things have quietened down this evening.
Yeah, things here in Hamburg have quieted down a little bit. There's still some cars out here on Man of War, as you can see behind me. Hopefully, though, the lighter traffic is a sign that that likely dinner rush we were seeing is coming to an end, and people are finally heading home, where they will likely be staying for the next few days. I want to give you a look at the roads now because you can see the snow is really piling up on the roads. We know the city's Streets and Roads Department has crews all over the city working to clear roads as they can. But we are talking about this continuous snowfall for many, many hours. Building up with these cold temperatures makes their job extremely difficult. We're talking about crews who are working 12-hour shifts. Not an easy job out here, and boy, is it cold. So if you can, please, we keep telling you the same thing, but we're repeating it because it's important. We want you to stay home if you can. Stay off these roads, stay home, and just be safe out there, please, Kentucky. Live in Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Samantha, thank you very much. And WKYT's Phil Pendleton is joining us now from London, where he has been holding fort.
Yeah, we've said this really all afternoon, Phil. It sounds like people are listening to what officials are saying, and they are staying home tonight and off of those roads. All right, I have a little bit of trouble there with Phil's audio from his live shot. He did talk with Gilbert Achardo with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office and says that there's only been minor accidents or issues with drivers there this afternoon. He says the call went out for people to stay home today, and he says most of those people are doing just that.
I see the snow and the ice, and I just get worried a lot about the ice mostly. The snow is not really a problem in this part of the area, but the ice, you know, the power lines, the traffic.
Yeah, and a lot of the officials in and around here, of course, are working to get shelters in place, and especially there in London at the community center, and it can be used if the power were to go out. A lot of folks working on getting those facilities open for people if we have the ice and power outage
They have
problems.
a generator there. You know, you have to think of what the city and county leaders have had to do in the emergency management.
And it's been days of this in the lead up to this.
Just to get ready, secure locations, get them powered in case the juice does go out. All right, crews across the state have been spending this week preparing for the storm as well. Right now, they are out there on those roads in full force.
Yeah, Kentucky Transportation Secretary Jim Gray is helping lead the charge from the state's Emergency Operations Center there in Frankfort. We talked to him just about over the phone just about an hour ago.
Well, Secretary Gray echoed what we have been hearing Chris say all day long, and that is, of course, that the worst of this storm is probably going to play out overnight and then well into the early morning hours. So, you know, pre-treating the roads really only goes so far with these frigid temperatures. Secretary Gray telling us that their crews are monitoring this winter storm statewide, and they've been preparing all week long.
Bill, I've been saying the 3 Ps. It's preparation, planning, and partnering. And that's exactly what we're doing. And there, you know, 2,500, as many as 2,500 of our Department of Highways employees are staged and involved, not just staged, but very actively involved now in fighting this storm. And 1,500 pieces of equipment. And on top of that, we've got contractors that are poised.
You know, they're affectionately known as snow fighters, working 12-hour shifts around the clock. Secretary Gray says he's really grateful for people who are following the advice and staying home during this winter storm Fern. He says with less traffic on the roads, the transportation crews can get more work done on the roads to keep them as clear of snow and ice as possible. Be safe out there.
And that is our Kelsey Soto leading our coverage tonight in our streaming room on WKYT+. Kelsey, thank you. Right now, air traffic around Lexington is almost at a standstill. The few flights that were scheduled to fly out of Bluegrass tonight have been canceled. Most incoming flights have been canceled as well.
I mean, just look at that.
Yeah.
Cancel. You very rarely see that.
Well, the roads aren't looking too great out there. We know that they are snow covered, and as we've been talking about those crews, they are out there in full force working hard to clear them.
And WKYT's India Jones is here in studio bringing us a First Alert traffic update right now. India?
Right, Bill and Amber. So for those of you who are getting ready to head out the door, I suggest you stay home unless you have to go out there for some type of necessity. I know Chris has been telling you about some of that freezing rain basically all day. As we take a look at the Corbin area, this is a look at I-75. Now, we're dealing with snow-covered roadways, and it looks like that far right lane is the only lane that you are able to see. But added on top of that, I know Chris has been talking a little bit about that cake layering. You can now see the fluffy snow still on the roadway, but look at those droplets. This is the ice. That's the rain that we're dealing with. So now you have created an issue out there on the roadway. So we're dealing with that fluffy snow, but now we have an added layer of ice that's definitely going to slow our travelers down significantly. Heading out the door, here is a look on Winchester Road as we take a look at our WKYT tower cam facing I-75. Now, I-75 is moving right along, but we're also seeing slow traffic out there. Stay indoors, give yourself extra time if you have to leave, but make sure to stay up to date with us here on WKYT, guys.
Good advice. Thank you, India. And yes, indeed, a little bit of freezing rain now already showing up across southern Kentucky. That is a big concern heading through the remainder of the evening and into tonight. That could be an ice storm playing out for parts of our region. We're taking a look at that and how the precipitation is about ready to kick into high gear in just a moment. Our major winter storm is here and it continues to pound the region. We'll keep you up to date and keep you safe on all our platforms, WKYT and WKYT Plus.
First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
For respectful, reliable service reimagined, Don Howard is there. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical. Don Howard, Don Howard, Don Howard.
I'm very passionate about the fire service. I do it on my off days too. The fire service has given me a great career.
If you want to grow, there's plenty of opportunities. Do you want a job that you have a brother and sisterhood? Do you want a job that's fulfilling and rewarding? Absolutely, be a firefighter.
My husband and I was in a ride share. The driver wasn't paying attention and he hit the vehicles in the front of him. I had to have a surgery where they had to go to the front of my neck to get to the back with 3 plates in my neck. I was out of work, didn't know how I was gonna pay anything. We called Morgan & Morgan and they did not fail us. I really appreciate you because if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know where I would be right now. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
From ADU homes and room additions to garage additions, take your home to the next level with distinctive design remodeling. Turn your basement from fine to fantastic. Upgrade your patio. Enjoy the outdoors longer in a new screened room. With this many finished projects, what are you waiting for? With distinctive design remodeling.
First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Now, WKYT First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Everybody, all kinds of snow, sleet, freezing rain targeting the region. This major winter storm continues to play out right in front of us. You see on our First Alert radar network all the heavy snow that is out there and developing very quickly. That is a heck of a snow band that is now starting to stretch along and just south of Interstate 64 from Lexington to Louisville, and that is increasing the farther west that we get, and that's going to be the trend as the evening wears on. Farther to the south, Indy was showing you a camera out of Corbin where you've got some ice that is starting to show up on the camera lens down there. You got it was a snow-covered, snow-packed Interstate 75. And now we're going to encase that in ice. That is the worst possible outcome from this event, is to go over to freezing rain sooner. All snow, who cares? You get 10 inches, 20 inches. Listen, we can manage that somehow. Ice, you can't do anything with it. It's just going to weigh down trees, power lines if it's pure freezing rain. And temperatures are in the teens. It is pure freezing rain that is falling in a lot of these areas. I was hoping that it would do the sleet thing for a while, but reports down here into southern Kentucky suggesting it just skipped the sleet and went straight to the freezing rain. So now I got to look at the forecast models and say, okay, which one was showing this direct switch without the sleet? And I got a feeling it's going to be the European model. Was the one that was verifying. It didn't have as much sleet as everything else. All right, here's your winter storm warning that is out for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky and surrounding areas too. We bumped the ice threat up all the way to I-64 and a little north of that. So as you bump the potential for ice up, your snows are going to come down a little bit because your precipitation, instead of going to all snow, goes to sleet and some freezing rain. Farther to the north, enjoy a major snowstorm. And this is a major snowstorm across the Bluegrass region coming up tonight and early tomorrow. It's just going to have different layers of it. And instead of pure snow, you got a layer of sleet, layer of ice on top of it, then we'll put a little snow on top of that too. So it is a multi-layer cake, kind of like what happened last January. I know you got to jog the memory a little bit, but you go back to early January of last year, we picked up 6-7 inches of snow. Nope, don't do it. 7-8 inches of snow. And then we put freezing rain on top of that. And then we put some snow on top of that. Remember, the kiddos didn't go back to school for like 2 or 3 weeks because it wouldn't melt because it had the ice on top of it. Farther to the south, that ice is a major threat. We could have some outages lurking later tonight and early tomorrow. Gatton Park, downtown Lexington. Inch or two of snow across most of the metro already. There's your Somerset cam. And indeed, we are seeing the little bit of ice that is showing up on this camera lens. So we'll keep coming back to this particular cam, especially where we're going to see the ice that may just cover that camera. Hazard, the view down here is more snow than anything else, but that possibility for some freezing rain to go from snow straight to freezing rain is there. Cold weather advisory, and we're going to see the cold weather that can get life-threatening tomorrow night, Monday, Tuesday, and even beyond that. It's a really cold week ahead. Currently 13 into Lexington, Georgetown. Throw the wind into the mix. You're in the Arctic right now, folks. You got snow blowing around and a wind chill of 3 below zero. Here's your first alert radar network where the snows are increasing. Look at just the blue in the past hour. You're starting to see that really increase, and that is aimed at the Bluegrass region. Snowing to beat the band, Versailles into Franklin County, parts of Lawrenceburg, south of 64, and then back toward Jefferson County. Farther to the south, snow and freezing rain. The radar is just a little slow in picking up on that freezing rain. But guys, what you're dealing with back here to our west, all of that into western Kentucky is just now beginning to kick it up a notch or two, and it goes all the way back to Texas, Mexico. That's what's yet to come through here tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night.
I mean, it is so massive when you see it.
It literally goes from Mexico to Canada.
Yeah.
And more than half, I think right at half of the population of the United States is under
it's been said
a winter weather
200 million people
Yeah.
in the wake of this.
Insane.
All right, thank you.
Well, we know that roads all across the state, they are becoming snow covered and slick, and now we're talking about a changeover to some of that freezing rain, ice. That is certainly the case tonight here in central Kentucky.
Let's go to WKYT's Maggie Rickerby, continuing our coverage from Madison County. She's joining us live right now from Richmond. Maggie?
Yeah, so what we're seeing out here in Richmond right now, we're still in this neighborhood that we've been standing in. It looks kind of like a winter wonderland. Like I said, we had been seeing some snowplows finally coming through this area. Obviously, you know, neighborhoods are going to be of a lower priority for these snow salt trucks. And so, yeah, that's what we've got out here. And we've seen just a couple of people out. Most people are probably inside hunkering down, which is exactly what people should be doing. And I'm glad to see that people are following those rules. But yes, we have seen people shoveling snow, and there was also a man that we got to speak to that was clearing off his driveway and his truck in a different way too.
Me and my wife went to Lexington and got a few supplies and just kind of getting ready for stuff. Got some propane for the heat in case the electric goes out. And I used my trusty blower to blow off my truck and driveway so that, you know, as long as it's not real wet, it does a pretty good job.
Yeah, and so that's just pretty much what we're seeing out here. It is still going. It's a light light bit of precipitation going, but it's still coming. And so we'll keep you updated throughout the night with everything that we're seeing here on WKYT. Live in Richmond, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
All right, that trusty blower that probably through in the summers looks so useless in the garage, right?
And now it's really helping. We want you to stay with us because coming up we're going to check in with Kentucky Utilities and talk about how they are positioning their crews in the event that we see some of these power outages and the potential for them. So we want you to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you or a loved one between the ages of 50 to 80 years old? If you are younger than 80 years old, do you receive Social Security, disability, or Medicare? If you answered yes, you may qualify for $30,000 in funeral insurance for only pennies a day. The average funeral costs around $11,000, and Social Security only pays $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. Call now to see if you qualify for $30,000 in funeral expense coverage from Senior Legacy Life. Your rate will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and there is no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing disease or illness. Don't be a financial burden to your family. Lock in your rate by completing an application over the phone right now. Will you qualify for funeral insurance up to $30,000 for only pennies a day? Find out by calling Senior Legacy Life.
Call 1-800-500-3922. That's 1-800-500-3922. 1-800-500-3922.
I'm a coach. I'm competitive. It's really important to me that I have great coverage just for my job. I saw the commercial for Consumer Cellular. I thought at first it's just for old people, but my cell phone bill kept going up. And then, of all things, I made the call. It was almost 50% less. I got 5% off with AARP, so then it went even lower.
Consumer Cellular gives you the same fast, reliable nationwide network for up to half the cost of big wireless.
Same tower, same coverage. The same coverage that you're looking for, they offer.
And there's no long-term contracts.
You don't like us? 1 month? Cut us loose, Coach.
We'll have you wrapped up in about 20 minutes. Really.
We hadn't gone back. We're not going back. We're with Consumer Cellular.
Call now and see how one of our U.S.-based Switch Pros can cut your bill by up to half. And right now, get your second month free with code SECONDFREE. Call 1-800-462-7076.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $20 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $285 million.
Welcome back in. Chris has been saying as the system continues, the potential for the worst case scenario when it comes to ice could likely play out in some areas in the overnight hours.
And power companies across the state are preparing to respond to any possible outages, including Kentucky Utilities, and we are joined by their spokesperson tonight, Daniel Lowry.
He's joining us now on the phone. Good evening, Daniel. With this potential for some serious ice situations, talk about how you have positioned crews and how they're ready to go.
That's right, Bill. We have, with LG&E and KU, more than 1,000 restoration personnel now at about 40 crew centers across our service territory, and they're ready to go.
Well, Daniel, are you concerned? You know, normally when we have winter storms like this, we may get some help from out of state, but of course this storm is so widespread across several states that we may not get that immediate help. Is that a concern to you all?
Yeah, that's right, Amber. Definitely it's a situation where mutual assistance may be a case where other utilities have to worry about their own customers. We do that as well. You know, we have to put our own folks first. And so if it gets in a situation where we need assistance, we are in contact with other business partners. You know, for example, we have other utilities across the country that are able to support us. But right now we've got more than 1,000 folks, and that is quite a lot.
Well, let's talk safety and what folks out there should do or not do. First of all, you know, if they lose power, what do they do? And certainly if you see a downed line or a branch over a line or something like that, what should you do?
Yeah, that's right, Bill. Definitely any down lines, you want to treat those as being energized. You know, if we do get a lot of ice and heavy snow that brings down tree limbs and trees and brings limbs with them, you know, our system is designed to withstand extreme conditions, but those trees are not. So definitely you want to treat those lines as being energized. and report those to authorities. Call 911, for example, if it's across a roadway where it looks like a real threat.
All right. Well, Daniel, we know that you guys are going to have so many of those, like you said, all of those crews. We hope that they don't have to be out there doing that work, but we know the potential is great tonight. So we appreciate a little bit of your time just keeping us posted about Kentucky Utilities and being positioned and ready to go.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel. And right now we're just watching this all sort of develop and play out.
It's all snow across central Kentucky. If you're from Lexington to E-Town north and northwest of that corridor, you're more snow than anything else. The problem is right now already in southern Kentucky, we've switched this over to freezing rain. So if we're already with freezing rain in southern Kentucky where the temperature is 18 degrees, and that continues through tonight and into much of the day tomorrow, and the temperature never gets above 32. Bar the door, Katie. That is more than an inch of freezing rain. That would be potentially a disastrous outcome. That's the one we do not want for anybody. But we're watching the heavy snow. The heaviest snow right now the entire day is in Lexington, and the snow bands are picking it up. It's going to get really, really rough middle and latter part of the evening through tonight and into tomorrow. I know folks today were looking and thinking, oh, well, this is just some light stuff and the radar,
don't be fooled by it, right?
radar doesn't have anything else out there. Well, weather isn't static, folks. It develops as well.
You gotta try to stay ahead of it.
That's
and the deal with that ice, I mean, it just clings to the surfaces, including the power lines or the trees, and brings them down.
Sleet, okay, it just pings and lays there. It doesn't do anything. But as you mentioned, you go outside right now, you pour water on your car, what's going to happen to it? It eventually just a block of ice. That's what's going to happen when the rain starts to fall.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone joining us. We still have much more to go here on WKYT in this special extended coverage of this winter storm tonight. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay connected. Stay safe. WKYT First Alert Weather.
I'm John Morgan, and this is my family. More than 35 years ago, my wife Ultima and I started our firm with the simple goal to fight for families like yours.
What began as a small firm is now America's largest. But to us, it's always been more than just a business.
It's a family business. We understand what it means to face hard times and fight to overcome them. Every case we take on is personal because we know what's at stake for you.
When you're injured, we're here for you.
For the people, for the families.
It's time to roll up your sleeves and save lives, Kentucky fans. Big Blue Slam is January 26th through the 30th at all Kentucky Blood Center locations. Beat the Gators and get a Big Blue Slam t-shirt. Visit kybloodcenter.org to make your appointment.
When it snows, you want to know, is it closed? WKYT has you covered. Scan the QR code to keep up to date on closings and delays. WKYT Closings is sponsored by Right Way Auto Glass. Paul Davis Restoration and WKYT remind you to be weather aware.
Visit Cravens and Lewis in Georgetown to sell your valuables at our 3-day-only buying event from January 27th to January 29th. Bring in your gold, silver, fine jewelry, diamonds, coins and currency, and more to receive a non-obligation offer and immediate payment. No appointment necessary. For more information and a full list of what we buy, visit nationalrarities.com.
Ring in the new year with a new ride at Genesis of Lexington. Lease a GV70 for $549 a month for 36 months with $59.99 down and 10,000 miles per year. Drive your new year forward at Genesis of Lexington.
Do you have what it takes to be a Lexington firefighter?
With First Alert Weather, this is WKYT News.
And good evening once again. We're right now about to hit 7:30, and we're continuing with our extensive coverage from WKYT of the winter storm. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Amber Philpott, and tonight we do have crews all across central and southern Kentucky covering this winter storm. It has been snowing now for hours, but we still have many more hours to go. Chris just told us that it is really snowing pretty heavy here in Lexington right now.
Heaviest of the day so far, guys. Now, the stuff we had earlier didn't have much moisture with it. That was the opening part of this system. The main system is what is still to come tonight through the day tomorrow. That, unfortunately, is bringing now an increase in a tremendous amount of moisture across Kentucky. That is in the form of heavy snow, sleet and freezing rain. The freezing rain part we don't want. Unfortunately, parts of Kentucky are going straight from snow to freezing rain. You're skipping the sleet. We need more sleet in that transition zone. Here's the winter storm warning that is out, and that's going to take us right on through tomorrow night. This isn't just a today event. This is a 36-hour or better event that started this morning and is going to go through tomorrow night and maybe a 48-hour for parts of the region by Monday morning. 10 to 18 inches of snow for the area in the darker blue here, the Lexington area. Now with more of a sleet and freezing rain signature that gets in. It's in no hurry to get in here. We're going to stay snow in Lexington through the majority of the overnight, north of that, especially to the south. Now we're going to start to see the freezing rain getting in here a little sooner. That's why we've upped the total to up to 1 inch of freezing rain. We were the highest of any of the folks with talking about the potential for freezing rain. We had 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch. Now you're starting to see everybody talking more and more about the freezing rain potential, and for good reason. This is going to be one of those events tonight where I'm watching temperatures in the teens and freezing rain. I mean, the only way to get out of that is for that temperature now at this point to go above 32 degrees. That won't happen for most of Kentucky. It may happen for a mild minute across the southeast tomorrow, though. Here's the view of the interstate. Not too far away from us. This is I-75 Man of War. There's the bridge. That's the Hamburg Pavilion right over here, and you can see the snows that are really coming down. If you can't see it there, let's go to Gatton Park into downtown Lexington, where now we're seeing the moderate to heavy bands of snow. That'll put it down. We're better than an inch of snow on the day so far, and by the time we get into 10, 11, or 12 tonight, we're going to have, in all likelihood, Lexington 2 to 4 inches of snow on the ground by that time, and then more to come tonight. Here's the view of Somerset. So you see the glare that is showing up here? That is ice that is starting to show up on our camera lens out of Somerset. Hazard, it's been more snow than anything, but I suspect that freezing rain line is going to try and creep in there. First Alert Radar Network. Everything in blue is the heavier bursts of snow. The white would be the lighter stuff. That's what we've had the majority of the day. Look at the Lexington area from Mount Sterling to Winchester and back to the west. Notice how it's filling in now. You had some gaps in there. Now all of a sudden, with this next system coming into play and kicking into high gear, you're starting to see the precipitation that is ramping it up a little more. Southern Kentucky, heavy precipitation here. The radar is still with snow for much of this. But obviously, with ground truth reports out of this area and some of those cameras with ice on them, we know that's actually some freezing rain that is already showing up. Likewise down to Williamsburg, and then back toward Columbia, you get back into the snow, and then north to Louisville, look at that moderate to heavy burst of snow that is zipping its way through. Western Kentucky, everything you see here is just in the process of really growing. The atmosphere, now we're getting to the part of the program where you start to get some steep lift in the atmosphere. That air starts to rise very quickly, and as it rises, it produces precipitation. So we got to watch for parts of the region tonight. A little thunder snow can show up, or even a little more rare thunder sleet or thunder ice with that Arctic system over top of our storms. See all that moisture that goes back really to the Texas-Mexico border and into New Mexico? That is yet to come to Kentucky. Roads are an absolute mess out there. Meteorologist Ben Beddos has been riding shotgun in our WKYT snowmobile all day long. Earlier, he was over in Mount Sterling. Ben is back in Lexington right now. And Ben, it is some of the heftier snows we've seen all day.
Yeah, Chris, you know, when you took us last time, we didn't really see too much of snow falling down, but it is starting to come back down once again. We are here in Lexington right now on Man of War, and we are seeing plenty of snow-covered roads. Plows have been coming through, have been doing the occasional clearing here and there, but of course it is so cold that any kind of slush or anything or water on the roadway is just going to quickly freeze. So we continue to see, yes, snow-covered roads and things slowly getting more worse as we go into the night tonight. So it's just best to stay home. Of course, with it being dark, you're going to have lower visibility, and there's going to be spots that on the roads that are going to be worse than others. It's important to remember that it just takes one slip to cause issues, and there's plenty of snow on the roads out there right now. So, reporting live in Lexington, I'm meteorologist Ben Beddoes, WKYT.
All right, Ben, you guys stay safe out there. And again, those snow-covered roads with the moderate to occasionally heavier bursts that are going to continue to come through here. Future radar right now, I got to give it up to the future radar. We populate this with a forecast model known as the HRRR, the HRRR. I know it's kind of a weird name, but that's the name of it. So what it is doing, this is what it was forecasting for where we are now. And it had that little bit of freezing rain and sleet already into southern Kentucky. Okay, so doing a pretty good job. Let's go through 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11. Look at the heavy snow that is setting up. The freezing rain and sleet line here is getting up into Rockcastle County, Jackson County by that time, over north of Hazard. Right along and just north of that heavy burst of snow comes through. Notice how this gets into central Kentucky later tonight, early tomorrow morning, and look at all the freezing rain that is trying to show up, and then it's back over to snow to end this thing tomorrow evening with another burst that comes in behind it tomorrow night. So guys, we're layering this winter storm. Snow, several inches of snow, ice, some sleet, and then more snow on top of that. That's what we're looking ahead to from tonight through tomorrow and into tomorrow night. This is a prolonged winter storm, and that's been what we've been trying to get across to folks.
A lot to deal with, and you know, we're all living a little history right now.
That
right?
we are.
Yeah, no question about it. By the way, Governor Andy Beshear says Kentucky will get federal aid for this storm to help with all the costs. Just before 5 o'clock today, he announced that President Trump has approved an emergency disaster declaration. The governor says that means federal aid is available immediately.
Well, if you've been with us all afternoon and into the evening, you know that we've got crews across our viewing area helping us bring those live looks at the current weather conditions all across the area.
So let's focus on central Kentucky here at the moment. WKYT's Samantha Valentino is here in Lexington. Maggie Rickerby is in Richmond. Sam, let's go to you first. What have you been seeing? You've been out there again for several hours now, and it was not even snowing when we started this afternoon.
Yeah, Bill, we started at 2 o'clock, and like you said, it was not snowing yet. It is definitely, as you can tell, snowing now continuously since probably about 2:30 here in Lexington from what we've seen. Chris said it just a few moments ago. The roads are a mess right now, and I want to give you a live look. This is Man o' War here in Hamburg. We are still seeing cars out on the roads. Thankfully, nobody has been slipping around out here in the Hamburg area, but still, if you can, stay home and stay off these roads. That is the best bet. Crews are hard at work here in Lexington and across the state tonight, trying to clear the roads as they can. We know they've been treating these roads they started several days ago on that here in Lexington. But still, when we have continuous snowfall like this, very cold temperatures, again, I feel like I keep saying it, but it makes the jobs of these road crews very difficult. And here in Lexington, the road plan for clearing these roads, it's designed to be completed 48 hours after snow stops. So when you see continuous snowfall like this, it is going to be a while. You're going to need to hold on to some patience when it comes to clearing these roads. Now, we have had team coverage across the Commonwealth here on WKYT and on WKYT Plus tonight. I want to bring in now WKYT's Maggie Rickerby. She's been live in Madison County for us. She's in Richmond now. Maggie, what are you seeing there right now? Well, pretty much I'm right here in Richmond. I'm in this neighborhood that I've been in for quite a while, just a couple hours, and as we've seen it coming down. Now, if you take a look here behind me, some of these roads have been plowed. I know that, you know, those other roads are going to take priority over these neighborhood roads, but it looks like they are kind of sort of getting cleared. It's definitely a process, and I'm sure that they're, you know, not going over it so many times because, like, everyone has been saying, this snow is still coming down. It's still coming down for all of us. So that's what we're seeing out here. I spoke to Rodney Richardson, the chief of police, just a bit ago. He was saying he wasn't seeing any accidents at that time, so that is good. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're seeing live in Richmond. Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
Maggie, thank you. I think, Bill, that's one of the I guess, best cases scenario out of this storm is that it is the weekend. People had enough time to know that they were going to be home. Most of the folks are listening, stay home, so we're not seeing any major accidents out there.
Even the school sent Chromebooks home in a lot of cases, but, you know, you'll have to have power for that.
To be able to use them.
Hope that holds out as well. Over there in Richmond, they tend to get on those roads pretty quickly, so they'll probably be trying to scrape and so forth overnight and early tomorrow. Let's get another look at what's going on right now.
Yeah, let's get you over to our India Jones joining us now with a look from really across the state, and those roads look like they are deteriorating, India.
They really are, so it's definitely causing some issues. I know we were just looking at Maggie Rickerby's live shot, and even in the Madison County area, crews have gone over those roadways, but putting salt down is only at this point going to add a layer of ice. Once it melts, it's going to turn over into ice, and so we even saw that in the back of her live shot, that little glossiness that's on top of that snow. That's a layer of ice that we're dealing with, and you can actually see it out there on the roadways, causing several issues. So you really want to take it slow. Like we've been saying all day, it looks like folks are taking heed. They're hunkering down, they're staying inside. But for those of you who still have to travel, remember to give yourself some extra time. Increase that following distance, especially for those who were traveling behind some of those salt trucks. Let's allow them to get the roads salted. As you can even see in the Mountain Parkway, we are dealing with snow-covered roadways. The same here at Pine Mountain. So you have to stay with us on WKYT and online, but also download that First Alert weather app. It will help you just in case you're trying to navigate some of those roadways still, Bill.
Okay, we thank you very much, India. And with officials urging people to stay home this weekend, many places are closed due to the winter weather.
Well, WKYT's Kelsey Soto has been leading our coverage all day for us in our streaming studio live on WKYT Plus, and she's breaking down the very latest for us. Hello, Kelsey.
This might catch you by surprise. No, we've been monitoring those active closings and cancellations posted on our website. Right now, we have 344 active closures over on WKYT.com right now. You might see some of them scrolling along the bottom of your screen. A lot of churches, though, have canceled their services already for the morning, wanting to be proactive, keeping their congregation safe. Fayette Mall also closed early this evening. They locked their doors at 5, wanted to making sure that all of the staff and workers could get home safely. And we also know that the Bluegrass Airport announced a ground stop this afternoon. They had 2 more flights coming in later this evening, but several airlines went ahead and canceled flights, wanting to keep their planes up and out of the snow. Now, technically, they're not shut down because that terminal is still open, but several people who are trying to get in and out of Lexington are now having to make alternative plans. So our Ben Beddos was there about an hour ago. He said it was kind of eerie and deserted looking. We know that nationwide, some 12,000 flights have already been canceled. So we'll keep an eye on that for you and get you an update as soon as they become available. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. This is a far-reaching winter storm. Future radar has a lot more snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The current radar is starting to load up with snow, sleet, and freezing rain. We're tracking it all for you one more time here in just a moment. Hang with us. Join us for the First Alert Weather Show weeknights at 6:30 on the CW Lexington and WKYT Plus.
Call us at Mintervines Injury Lawyers if you've been involved in an accident or have been seriously injured.
I'm Maria Montgomery, and at West Shore Home, we make home remodeling easy. From tub to shower conversions to walk-in tub installations and even full bath remodels. We're ready to get rid of your old, outdated bathroom and transform it into your dream space. So if your bathroom looks like this, or even this, we're ready to transform your bathroom. The best part is we don't require any money down, so you can get started and not make your first payment until after the project is complete. All of our projects are professionally installed by our crews of highly trained employee installers, never subcontractors. And right now we have something special going on. It's our winter savings event. Lock in free installation on all tub to shower conversions. Plus, for a limited time, get 18 months of no interest financing. Just call or or visit westshorebath.com.
I'm Daniel, the founder of Pretty Litter, the color-changing, health-monitoring cat litter. Did you know that cats tend to hide symptoms of sickness and pain? I learned this the hard way after losing my cat, which drove me to create this. By working with scientists and veterinarians, we were able to develop a new litter with color-changing technology to help you keep tabs on your cat's health. Built with advanced odor control, this litter keeps your home smelling fresher longer. So give it a try. Visit prettylitter.com today.
Search WKYT and stream breaking news and weather live on your TV or watch anytime on your schedule. Download today and stay connected.
Join me for Kentucky Newsmaker Sunday morning at 11:30 on WKYT.
Now, WKYT First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey everybody, hope you're hunkered down. Hope you're staying safe out there. Hope you're warm. Hope you made the proper or took the proper steps to get ready for this winter storm. We're into still the first phase of this thing. What we had out there today, that's just a little piddly stuff. What is coming in tonight through tomorrow, that's the stuff that is the concerning part. Increasing amounts of heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain on the way to the region tonight through tomorrow and tomorrow night. And for some of you out there, and quite a bit of us in our particular part of Kentucky, we're going to be layered. Snow, several inches, a little bit of sleet, a little bit of ice, and then some snow on top of that. That's going to be how we kind of roll with this winter storm. Take a look at the warning. Continues for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky, and it goes through tomorrow night. Farther to the south, we've got a few counties that are under ice storm warnings. Knoxville, you got those around southwestern sections of Tennessee. Most of the Carolinas, including Charlotte, down into Atlanta and across the Memphis, Tennessee area, just east of Memphis, actually, down into the heart of Texas. Winter storm warnings now go from El Paso, Texas, all the way to the Canadian border with Maine. I mean, this is a massive winter storm. You just don't see winter storms often that have this much coverage in terms of the number of people and just the amount of real estate that is being impacted. Okay, sometimes you get a big snowstorm that'll shut down Boston and New York City at the same time, huge population areas. But to have this go from New Mexico and Arizona to Maine is crazy. Major snows, we're into the high range for ice. Some of us is going to be major. It's just not area wide that we'll be dealing with that. But if it's you, it's major enough, right? The area we're going to really watch, that 1/4 to 1 inch of ice, have made very little changes to the overall theme of the forecast for a couple days. Yes, we've kind of had the Lexington area right on that line between some ice and all snow 10 to 18 inches here into northern Kentucky. But the ice line was right in the southern part of Fayette County. We just moved that a little bit north now because there is more potential for the heavy snow to flip over to a period of sleet and then freezing rain. Up to a 1/4 inch of freezing rain can show up on top of the snow that we're dealing with. Roads across Lexington, a mess. This is Interstate 75. That would be the interstate. That would be Man of War, the bridge that goes essentially from where we are in Winchester Road over to Hamburg. We travel that one a few times a day, and it is very, very snowy. Snowy into Gatton Park in downtown Lexington. Been watching the snows pick up the pace a little bit locally for the past hour. The Somerset Cam, every time we check on this, and we continue to watch this tonight, you're going to see the kaleidoscope effect on this because ice is building up. It's just going to keep building up on that. Corbin Cam as well. See this? That would be the ice. That's the road sign that you're seeing reflecting on that ice. Snow-covered interstate down here. Now you put snow on it or ice on it. 18 into London, 19 into Somerset, 21 Williamsburg, unlucky 13 Lexington. 3 below is the current wind chill. That's what it feels like out there. That will be warm compared to what we get tomorrow night, Monday, and Tuesday. Precipitation is starting to ramp it up again. Where you see the blues, that's a moderate to heavy burst of snow. We've got that coming in from the west of Frankfort, down into Berea, Mount Vernon, toward Mount Victory and London. Radar is telling us it's snow, but in all likelihood, it could be snow, sleet, and freezing rain showing up for many of these areas. The donut hole closing up to our west, moderate snow Louisville, and look at the snows that are firing up back here to the west. When I start to see a radar that takes on the nature that is showing up into West Tennessee and Western Kentucky, I look at that and I think, you know, at some point in the next few hours on the radar, you're going to see a lightning strike or two. So some thunder snow, a little thunder ice possible for some of us tonight.
I guess we say, why not, right?
Just one more added thing.
Odd though it may be, right?
Right, exactly.
Thank you. Police in southern Kentucky say they have not been really busy this afternoon, and as part of this snowstorm has been moving through, people are listening to the advice.
Yeah, that's good news. Snow continues, though, to come down there in Laurel County. Crews, they are trying to get out there and be on top of it, but those roads are still snow covered and they are slick. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has been live for us all afternoon and this evening in London to give us a look at the conditions there. Phil?
Well, we have seen snow taper off just a little bit here, not snowing nearly as hard, but we still see some coming down and not much traffic at all, just a few cars on the roadways here. Kentucky State Police say the situation has not been too busy for them, and the Laurel County Sheriff's Office pretty much says the exact same thing. Kentucky Highway 80 has had a decent amount of traffic in the afternoon. Salt trucks are out. They are keeping the roads clear. Kentucky State Police say that it's pretty much good for everybody to stay home.
If you got to go to work or you got to be out, use cautious. Make sure you got a cell phone. Make sure you got enough gas in your vehicle if you do get stranded, that you can stay warm until first responders get to you.
And that situation becomes worse tomorrow. They say there is a shelter open at the London Community Center, and they have generators there to help with the power. Live in Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. One of the things that we appreciate about you, our viewers, is that you're always sending us photos of where you are. And we want to take a look at some of our viewer pictures tonight in some of the different places. Here looks like a power truck, a company truck there out of Pine Knot. A lot of people just sending us in snowy views of maybe their backyards and what their streets were looking like earlier today. A lot of photos. I think that's a dog. I have a dog at home that just absolutely loves this weather. This is a beautiful shot from over at Cave Run Lake and one of the marinas there. Snow covered and looks very cold there. A photo out of Harrodsburg for us here this evening as well. Somerset. Obviously, a lot of these sent in earlier when the snow was just starting to come down, and we know that we have seen quite a bit of snow here this evening. A shot out of Moorhead. We really like these photos because we can't get our crews everywhere, but you at home can help us sort of get to all of these different places. A photo out of Ravenna that's been sent in. A couple of photos there for us this evening. Looks like a big old footprint maybe there in the snow out of Danville tonight. And then another shot out of Danville. We may, I guess, see this little light there in the ground. Probably is going to be covered up tonight if all of this snow plays out the way Chris says it does in a lot of these places. Again, to all of our viewers, when you send in those photos, we really appreciate it. Stay with us on this special coverage. We'll be right back.
This Morgan video was not approved, authorized, or endorsed by Disney. This Morgan video was not approved, authorized, or endorsed by Disney.
Paul Davis Restoration and WKYT remind you to be weather aware.
It's a harsh week of winter weather. Everything from snow and ice to bitter cold. We're tracking it all to keep you safe on WKYT and WKYT Plus.
First Alert weather storm coverage is sponsored by Bryant Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Unleash your business's full potential with GDM 360. Where streaming TV, display, and video ads, audio, even gaming all work together in perfect unison. Building one seamless strategy. That's the great digital media difference. We know local. GDMLexington.com.
Live, local, trusted. Follow WKYT News on Instagram. Search WKYT and stream breaking news and weather live on your TV. Or watch anytime on your schedule. Download today and stay connected to WKYT.
Your news, your way, streaming now.
WKYT News at 11.
WKYT delivers it.
Take a look at this video.
Today's headlines, tonight's breaking news,
reporting live from Lexington,
and tomorrow's first alert.
I'm tracking overnight storms that will impact your morning commute.
Streaming to fit your life.
A safety alert for a food recall.
Stream tonight, stream anytime.
WKYT News at 11. Live, local, trusted.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. What we're dealing with is that winter storm warning that is out for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. You guys already know that. We've prepped you for this for almost a week now. The new call for snow and icefall is the same one we had, or the same one that was out earlier, the same one. You see my 606 routes there. We're 10 to 18 inches across the north, where you're all snow. To the south of it, we're going to have the Lexington area in that 6 to 12. You already got 1 to 2 on the ground, because we're going to see more sleet and freezing rain. That's the worst part of what we need. That's the worst case scenario was ice to take over earlier, and it is doing so now. We've got freezing rain all across southern Kentucky. This ups the ante with significant amounts of precipitation moving in. Some areas can push 1 inch of freezing rain, which would be disastrous for those areas. Here's the view in Lexington. This is Interstate 75 in the Man o' War area. This is Gatton Park, where you've got snow that is flowing, coming down. Corbin Cam, it decided to take a break on us. How about downtown Lexington, where we've got the moderate to occasionally heavy snow that is going to continue to increase as the evening wears on. I'm watching that stuff into western Kentucky and western Tennessee, where the precipitation rates are going to jump. Some of the snows later this evening into the wee hours of the morning, guys. The Bluegrass region, BG Parkway and north especially, can have 1 to 2 inches per hour. Gosh.
And the Laurel County Sheriff's Office just put it out that they're starting to see freezing rain now down there in and around the London area.
Which is bad news, because they've still got another inch to inch and a half of rain to come.
Yeah, some kind of precipitation.
Some kind of precipitation.
Yeah. Well, as we said, we're all living through this together. We're going to continue our coverage on WKYT Plus.
Yeah, our Kelsey Soto leading our coverage, and she's going to be streaming, and we'll see you back tonight.
Unlocking your business potential takes the right digital strategy and the right partner. At Gray Digital Media, we're that partner you can trust, because we know local. We develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming channels you know best. Your business will show up in the social feeds we all use every day, and we'll help you leverage the power of Google and talk to the right audience on YouTube. Our marketing experts connect you with customers right here in Lexington and wherever your audience is. Together, we'll find new customers and get results that matter to you and your business. Cutting-edge strategies, backed by local expertise. That's the Gray Digital Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMLexington.com.